Are you struggling to unlock new tanks, planes and ships, or feeling left behind due to not having a premium account? Well, with the 3GE Android app you can get it all for free. The developer of this app works directly with Gaijin, is 100% legal, and breaks none of the terms of service. Carry out small tasks, such as completing surveys and watching ads, and in return, you'll receive 3 Golden Eagles for War Thunder, speeding up your progression. When you earn 28 or more Golden Eagles, you can deposit them straight into your War Thunder account. Simple. If you download and install 3GE with my link in the description below, you can enter my personal code and receive 10 Golden Eagles for free. Using this link directly helps me as a creator, but more importantly lads, it helps you. So let's help each other. Download 3GE from the Google Play Store and start planning on what you're going to spend those Eagles on. Thanks again to 3GE for sponsoring this video. The Bell AH-1Z Viper is the US Marine Corps' answer to a close air support helicopter. This chopper is a member of the prolific Huey family of helicopters. Due to the ease of maintenance, incredible reliability, and great performance of the UH-1 Iroquois over the skies of Vietnam, engineers at Bell wanted to make a dedicated close air support weapon, using many parts from the UH-1. Indeed, the engine, transmission, and rotor system of the Huey were all used in the formation of the AH-1 Cobra. This is the first helicopter in the US tech tree, well known for rushing at the start of a game with its high amount of dumbfire rockets. The AH-1 Cobra also performed very well over the skies of Vietnam, providing support to both Allied troops and other helicopters. It was used extensively by the US Marine Corps, as well as exported to Israel, Japan and Turkey. As with all military projects however, upgrades and modifications are bound to happen, and due to the Cobra typically being associated with the Marines, which means operating at sea, the upgraded Super Cobra used a twin-engine design. This gave better reliability and redundancy, as even if one engine failed, you could still limp back to your carrier on one engine. The Super Cobra was updated again, now becoming known as the AH-1Z, the helicopter we're going to be talking about in this video. It had new rotor technology with upgraded military avionics. It also got new electro-optical sensors in an integrated weapon platform. Its wing stubs were also increased in length, adding a wingtip station for missiles, such as the AIM-9L Sidewinder, which is currently found in game. Overall, for a helicopter based on the AH-1 Cobra, a helicopter which first flew in 1967, the AH-1Z has basically been upgraded to Apache standard, both in terms of avionics and firepower, but not unfortunately in survivability or speed. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Alright lads, today of course we're going to be talking about the AH-1Z Cobra. This is a rank 7 battle rating 10.7 helicopter located in the American tech tree. To unlock this chopper, you're going to have to grind out 390,000 research points before purchasing it for a cost of 1,020,000 Silver Lions. To put this vehicle in your lineup, it's going to cost you another 290,000 Silver Lions. Although the expert in age qualifications aren't really that useful on a helicopter, it'll set you back 1,020,000 Silver Lions for the expert and 2,800 Golden Eagles for the ace. In terms of repair cost, and when playing realistic battles, it will set you back 7,078 Silver Lions. Going on to the rewards, and in playing realistic battles and with a premium account, you can expect an RP modifier of 464% and a Silver Line modifier of 375%. In terms of customization, we have no camouflage available for Golden Eagles, but we do have a single camouflage available on the Gaijin marketplace. So with the AH-64D Apache being added to the game a few months ago, is the old AH-1Z still worth grinding out? Well, stick around for the rest of the video to find out. Starting with the mobility and performance, the AH-1Z Viper is capable of achieving a top speed of 412 km/h at an altitude of 1,000 meters. One of the unique things about the Viper is it is able to achieve a maximum altitude of 6,000 meters. Although, just like with every other helicopter, you want to try and stay as low to the ground as possible to avoid enemy air defense systems. The over 400 km/h top speed of the Viper makes it some 100 km/h faster than the average helicopter in War Thunder, with the AH-64D Apache only being able to achieve a top speed of around 300 km/h. While the Viper is 25% faster than the Apache, it is manoeuvrability and not speed which keeps you alive in helicopters. And sadly, the Viper just isn't very agile. It responds very poorly to yaw input, meaning it's very difficult to rotate the aircraft, as well as turning mid-air. If the Apache was a Spitfire fighter, then the AH-1Z Viper is a Blenheim bomber. While it doesn't really perform favourably, at least when compared to the Apache, it is still a decent helicopter in terms of speed. But another aspect in which the Viper doesn't compare to the Apache is the protection. You can see here that we only have a single composite screen in the cockpit. This is 20mm thick and primarily protects the gunner as well as the legs of the pilot. This is one of the major downsides when compared to the Apache. The cockpit of the Apache is well protected and was specifically designed to offer more protection than the Viper's cockpit. While in real life, this is a very important aspect in terms of usability of the aircraft. However, in War Thunder, both helicopters will die relatively quickly when exposed to anything above a 20mm cannon. To start the weapons segment, I want to point out that this helicopter does not have any radar systems, but it does have an MAW, as well as a radar warning receiver. The MAW is a missile approach warning system, which automatically deploys flares when it detects a missile coming towards the helicopter. You can choose where it deploys flares or chaff and flares, allowing you to block and distract both IR and semi-active radar homing missiles at once. This feature is found on most top tier helicopters, including the AH-1Z Apache. The helicopter itself can carry 120 countermeasures, and you also have very high resolution thermal imaging in the gunner's sight. These small features on the helicopters, combined with the weapons which we're going to cover shortly, make this helicopter very powerful on the battlefield. But let's start with our primary weapon, the 20mm M197 cannon. This is mounted in a flexible turret on the nose of the helicopter, and contains a total of 750 rounds, with a fire rate of 750 rounds per minute, giving you a total of 60 seconds in gun time. It has a horizontal guidance of 115 degrees either side of the nose, and 50 degrees of gun depression, giving you very good firing angles with the gimbal turret. The 20mm armoured target belt which fires through this gun can penetrate 39mm of armour at a range of 500 meters. This isn't really amazing for punching through the tops of enemy tanks, but it is very good for combating incoming enemy jets, as well as enemy helicopters. But in all fairness, it is a downgrade compared to the 30mm cannon found on the Apache. We can also carry fixed miniguns on the side of the aircraft, in this case being the 7.62mm M134 minigun. You can carry a maximum of 2 of these guns, with a total ammunition count of 6,000 rounds, 3,000 rounds per gun. At top tier, these aren't particularly useful, but if you play a lot of helicopter arcade battles, then they may be good for grinding out ground targets. We then come on to the good old 2 3/4 inch Hydra 70 M247 rockets, or 70mm Hydras. They travel at a maximum speed of 739 meters per second, and can penetrate 290mm of armour at all ranges. This is due to their high explosive anti-tank warhead, containing 1.19 kilograms of TNT. This is a fairly average warhead size, and gives it mediocre post-penetration damage. But to be completely honest, for most main battle tanks, you will have to get a few hits to secure a kill. We then have the AGM-114B Hellfire missiles. These travel at 475 meters per second, and are laser designated. This means you will need to maintain a lock on the target until the round impacts. This has positives and negatives. The positive is that it is incredibly accurate. It will detonate pretty much exactly where you have the pipper. The downside is, you obviously can't fire and forget with these missiles. The latter point isn't that big of an issue. Most other helicopters in the game do have to have you guiding it until impact. It's only really the Tiger UHT which can avoid this. Do note however, these are the B variants of the Hellfires, or not the more advanced K variants found on the AH-64D Apache. They only have 1100mm of penetration, compared to the 1200 of the K variant. The TNT warhead is also slightly less, at only 3.1 kilograms, but to be honest, this isn't a major downside. Both missile variants have the same range, same guidance system, and only different penetration. Due to the guidance system of the Hellfires, they usually attack in what's called a top-down attack system. They travel up into the sky and then fall back down on top of the target, striking the thinner roofs of most main battle tanks. While the K variant of the Hellfires certainly are slightly more deadly, the 1.1 meter of penetration is still more than enough to knock out most main battle tanks at top tier, as long as you aim for major crew concentrations or ammunition storage at the back of a tank's turret. We then come on to the final weapon of the Viper, the AIM-9L Sidewinder. These missiles were first used famously in the Battle of the Falkland Islands, where they were equipped to the British Harrier jets, performing incredibly well against the Argentinian Mirages. These missiles are what are known as all aspect, meaning they can lock a target from all aspects, front, side or rear. From the rear, they can lock a target at 6.5 kilometers, and from the front, 3 kilometers. They have 30 Gs of maximum overload, and contain a TNT warhead of 5.66 kilograms of TNT. If you've watched many of my other videos on helicopters, you know that most other helicopter anti-air missiles only have 10 Gs of overload. Well, these bad boys have 3 times that. Out of all the helicopters in War Thunder, the AIM-9Ls are probably the most effective air-to-air missiles currently on a helicopter, with maybe the exception of the French Mistrals. And that covers all the weapons of the Viper. Although lacking the K variant of the Hellfire, I still think that this helicopter is incredibly potent on the battlefield. Before we get into the conclusion, let me know what you guys think about the AH-1Z Viper, and which helicopter, tank, plane or ship you guys would like to see reviewed next. The Viper is one of the oldest helicopters currently in game. For many years, it was a top tier helicopter available to the Americans. It's only very recently that the Apache was introduced, several months ago, and with the Apache came a rapid firing 30mm cannon, advanced Hellfire missiles, and incredible mobility. In many ways, the Viper has been power creeped. The Apache simply does everything better than it, to be honest, apart from top speed. And you could argue that the AIM-9Ls are better than the 4 Stingers on the Apache. However, the Apache gets 4 Stingers, which you only get 2 AIM-9Ls. I have both the Apache and the Viper, and I enjoy playing them both. But if we are going to grind out the American helicopter tree, it makes more sense to grind out the Apache. You have better missiles, better gun, you can carry every other weapon that the Viper can carry, with the exception of the 7.62mm miniguns. You have radar on the Apache, the same great thermals, and the same great fire control systems. While I do love playing the Viper, and I think it is by far better looking than the Apache, there's no denying that the AH-64D is the better option to grind out if you do want to play helicopters in War Thunder. Alright lads, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, please do consider subscribing to the channel. You can also leave a like and a comment, which again, also boosts me in the algorithm, helping my channel to grow. You can also follow me on Twitter as well as Twitch, and if you're a huge fan of the channel, you can become a member of the YouTube channel, which will give you a unique icon next to your comment, in both comments under videos and on YouTube live streams. Once again, thank you very much for watching this far into the video lads, and I'll see you in the next one.